Hello, it's Coach Schaefer. I'm at Raccoon Creek State Park getting my run on and watching the waterfowl skim their butts across the lake as they land. How nice. But anyhow, so I thought I'd make a video real quick here to address some issues. I'm getting a lot of contact now from, now that I have my wrestling room specific Facebook page up and my YouTube channel's taken off a little bit, and just by word of mouth locally. I'm being contacted in different means about classes and how things work, and some people seem to be a little confused on it, if they've heard how it works from somebody else or what have you. And so I thought I would just make like a blanket video to cover all that, and anytime anybody contacts me, I'll be sending an edited version of this out. So anyhow, my room is one-on-one and small group, and I call it micro groups, no bigger than 6. And obviously, to have a group, it's got to be you know, no more than or no less than 2, right? So I fix wrestling specific problems and issues that any wrestler at any level, youth through varsity, is having in live wrestling. And we also learn from new, okay? Learn from scratch. If it's a fix-it issue, I'm usually doing one-on-ones first to assess some things, talking to that wrestler because they're out on the mat doing the wrestling. And we'll identify what the issue is, whether it's a general physical skill like a hand-eye coordination problem, or some agility issue that's maybe affecting what they need to learn or improve at, or if it's a wrestling specific skill that's primarily for wrestling, some type of footwork or some type of other skill or what have you, that maybe they're having some problems with, that's affecting their drilling quality, their ability to drill in a way that supports a certain wrestling move or technique. Okay, I'll identify all that. We'll break it down. That may require a lot of one-on-one work at first, or it may require me to get them like a partner that I know I can bring in, that can hop in and help improve that skill. It may be something that I can't do, one that they need a partner for. Top and bottom, especially top reps. If it's a breakdown issue, I have to have a partner with them. I'm a big guy. An 80-pound kid can't break me down and expect to learn the positioning and everything well. So, but at any rate, whatever needs fixed, usually we fix it, and then we do learn from scratch. Absolutely. And I teach things from scratch again at the one-on-one level. If that's where it needs to be, I determine that. And we also do small groups. That group may be 2 all the way up to 6. And when I'm teaching new, I get down to the granular level. I explain how that particular technique and how it works, and how it works in a certain position or positions, situations, how the leverages and mechanics work. And I do that in all like an appropriate reading level, whatever the age group is. We learn it from the walkthrough level. Usually in every wrestling technique, offensive or defensive, there's usually a small detail or 2 that needs to be correct in drilling or what have you, for that technique to get burnt on the brain, so to speak, the correct way. So when they hit things in a match, they're executing properly, or at least they end up in a good position to switch off to something else. If it's an offensive technique, maybe where somebody defends it, they're in a good position to maybe execute a different offense. Okay, we learn it that well, and then we'll plug it into situational live wrestling. Let's say for example, I'm teaching them a particular single leg defense. After we learn that defense so well and we walk through it, and I see that their drilling is as correct as possible, I might go ahead and start like situational live, where I put them on a leg, and or somebody on their leg, and then we go from there. Once they learn so many single leg defenses, I may put them a partner on a leg. That's after I've taught them, or assuming either they already know, I've assessed that they already know, if they're at that level, to know all their single leg finishes, or I've taught them their single leg finishes. We'll switch back between offense and defense and go situational live, so people learn how to react to different situations, and then we branch out from there, connecting other things we learn to that, and build a lot of wrestling skill and knowledge that way. So, and we do just wrestle live. We just, there's no, well, I may put some requirements on. Okay, so we're gonna use Davey, you're using this, whatever we worked on 2 weeks ago that we've been developing, and then your partner, whoever that might be, you're trying to execute this. I may put some parameters on it. Sometimes I may not. I might just let them wrestle live. It all depends on what I assess and what I think needs done with a particular group or individual. So that's kind of how it works with the group stuff. Once we start a development group, where I have a group and they're all kind of, starting at the same level, the same plane, and we're developing. There are some attendance requirements for that, so there's no interruption to learning, and I'm not stuck if somebody hasn't been here for a month and a half or whatever. I'm stuck trying to play catch up in a class. They walk in the door, and I'm going to take 15 minutes out of one class to get them caught up with the whole group, and you can't do that and be effective anyway. Okay, not with wrestling anyhow. Maybe something else you can. But anyhow, so there are minimum attendance requirements for the small group work usually, and nothing outlandish, nothing crazy. You'd be surprised what you can do with even just a few days per month. But nevertheless, we do strength conditioning and stuff. That's more off season, and we do some skill building and what have you. And we do a lot of work outside. I think that's important, in all seasons. Summer, yeah, I'll have summer classes going on, and we'll be doing some conditioning and strength training outside. I think it provides an opportunity to engage some different obstacles, some challenges, and it builds some respect for the natural resources, and seeing them as an opportunity to improve life, quality of life, and get out in them as long as they're willing to respect them. And I teach them that too. And so we do a lot of things, and I do show up to events. Sometimes as a coach, if a youth team wants me to step in and help out, if they don't have enough coaches, or if they have a youth wrestler or whatever, even a school district wrestler, junior high and varsity, they're wrestling unattached in an event, yeah, I show up and coach, and I think it's absolutely important that they see me there. And when I give them goals, maybe on something that we've worked on, something we've been fixing, or something we've learned new, I'll give them match goals. Okay, we're not worrying so much about what happens with the match. We're going out and executing this top breakdown. We're not worrying about score today, okay? Especially in an unattached event where it's an open or something. We're taking, I give them match goals. We're going out and we're trying our best to execute this particular technique, okay? And if it fails once, we're going out and executing it again. And I build a lot of live confidence in live wrestling that way, in handling different situations. So, yeah, I definitely attend events, and everything's connected from what we learned in the mat room to what's executed in matches. And so it's fairly organized stuff. The room is expanding. The current room that I have, it's going to grow. I got some more square footage from the space owner. I don't own the space. I traded some commercial paint work to get that in a real good agreement, and guy's great. So the room will be expanding. There's definitely going to be more mat space, but I try to tell people that the size of the room and all this. Especially younger wrestlers. To me, and watching what I see. Okay, and I've been around wrestling for obviously a long time. Especially with developing wrestlers, you give them a huge mat, they're going to drift all over the place unless you put some requirements on them not to. So with me keeping my room a certain size, and once I get new mats, it'll have smaller practice circles on it, okay? And, I teach wrestlers how to wrestle within the action circle, the inner circle. That's critically important and highly overlooked. If they can wrestle closer in tighter spaces, and they can learn how to use that circle for their offense and for their defense, and when it comes to executing techniques, let's say like a spiral breakdown, or any type of breakdown that requires a circular run of the feet or anything like that. Learning how to use edges, keeping everything in the center, the edges of the center circle. Using that as learning how to control edges out on the edge of a competition mat, where there's only the center circle, the outer circle, the interaction circle, the out of bounds circle, okay, and there's no practice circles on it. Okay, I do go through things, once they're at a certain level, assuming their skill level's that high, okay, how to control the mat edge, things like, do that in that inner circle, okay. There's a lot of important detail that needs to be learned in wrestling about wrestling in that smaller circle, and so I focus on that a lot, and that's part of the reason why. I mean, the room, it's going to be decent size once it expands, and it's okay now. For small one-on-one to small group stuff, but it's definitely going to grow. But that doesn't mean I just let bodies fly all over the mat and you can just kind of go wherever you want. just anyhow. So I'm bringing some more equipment in there too, and there may be a second room opening soon within the next 6 months or so. I can't say where yet and get all kind of detail, but things are looking up. It's getting busier, and we're having a ton of fun. So reach out and contact me if you want to make a visit. Looking forward to meeting you. Take care. Bye.